Hello everyone, this is Allison From-Tapp from the Counseling Center here at Spalding. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Counseling Center and a couple other things while I have you. So first, I want to make sure that you know how to contact us. If you would like to be seen for any sort of issue, no matter what that is, we would love to be able to talk with you about that. And we offer lots of different services. Most of our therapy sessions are about 50 minutes in length, but they can be shorter if you need shorter. They can also be a little longer if you need a little longer. So it's really easy to get in touch with us to get that set up. Our email is CAPS, which is just CAPS @spalding.edu. And you can just send us an email, and all of my staff checks that email every day. So we will get back to you, and then we will work on getting you set up as quickly as we can. And usually we can get you set up within a few days, depending on your schedule and our schedule. So that is as easy as it is. We are also doing all telehealth right now. So the nice thing about that is that if you have Wi-Fi wherever you are, then you are set up to be able to do that. And all you have to do is be able to log into a link that we'll send you, and then we'll be able to do that telehealth appointment. If you don't have Wi-Fi wherever you are, or if you don't have a confidential space, please let us know and we can help you figure that out as well. We have partnered with the library, and you're actually able to reserve some of the rooms in the basement of the library where you can go and actually do telehealth from in there. And they are nice soundproof rooms down in there, so it's really confidential. So that's the way to get in touch with us. If you need an assessment for anything, we can figure that out as well, and that we are doing in person right now. So if you have questions about that, just let us know. Again, caps@spalding.edu. Dr. Walker Payne asked me to speak with you a little bit about just mental health in general, but also that connection between mental health and academic success. Sometimes we think that academic success is this thing over here that, if you're smart enough, you can just do it, and that mental health is a whole different thing. That is completely untrue. If your mental health is suffering, if you are worried, or if you're anxious, if you're depressed, then your academic success is not going to be very successful. So really, those are two things that really come in connection with each other. And we want to make sure that you are as successful as you can be. So you need to have some good mental health. Some of that is a little more difficult right now, given that we are in the middle of a pandemic still. It is really difficult to maintain good mental health when we can't always be in connection with our friends and family members like we have been before. And that is really difficult. So one of the things that we really suggest is figuring out ways to be as social as you have been in the past, but in different ways. Yes, that might mean being outside. Yes, it might mean also wearing a mask. It might also mean doing video conferencing with your friends instead of being in person. And I know that does not feel the same, but it does give you some of that social connection that we all need as human beings. Another thing that's really helpful for our mental health right now is meditation and mindfulness. Some of the reasons that can be really helpful is that being mindful helps us to stay focused on the present moment. And when we can focus on this moment, we tend to not be quite as anxious or quite as depressed. When we think about anxiety, we tend to think about folks who think a lot about what's going to happen in the future and really being worried about the future. And that causes a lot of anxiety. For folks who might be a little more depressed, those folks often tend to ruminate or think a lot about things that have happened in the past. And when we think about things that happened in the past that maybe didn't go so well, we do tend to not feel as good about it. So a lot of folks get stuck either back here in the past being depressed, or over here in the future being really anxious. And so what we want is to have you to be able to really focus on the present moment. So mindfulness, the definition of mindfulness, is actually being able to be present in the present moment, paying attention on purpose and without judgment. That's another part that is super hard for most of us, is that we get really judgmental about ourselves on a lot of things. And so being able to work on mindfulness helps us to be more focused on what's going on in this moment. And we really work hard to not be judging ourselves and what we're doing in this moment. So that's something that we can really help you do in the Counseling Center if that's something you'd like to work on. We also have some apps that you can go and check those out, but they're not our apps, but there's some suggested apps that really help you with some of those things. But just learning to practice those skills are really important for you. The other thing that mindfulness does is it helps us once we practice it enough, and it is something you have to practice. It's just like lifting weights and developing your muscles. Your brain is a muscle in that way too, and you have to develop it by practicing a lot. So the more that you practice mindfulness, the more you're going to be able to learn to concentrate more on things, and that's going to really help your academics because you're going to learn how to concentrate on what you're doing, how to hold your attention on the material that you're trying to learn. So the more you practice those sorts of mindful skills, the more you're going to be able to concentrate on your academics. So we really want to help you figure that stuff out too. Some of that can also be done through meditations. So mindfulness and meditation, sometimes those go hand in hand and sometimes not. Meditations are often things where we may ask you to focus on your breathing or focus on a visualization of something nice. And that can help with relaxation. It can also help with concentration as well. With those, we might not be working so much on mindfulness per se, but really just on helping you to concentrate on kind of one thing at a time. Our minds are really busy places, and lots of times we're going in 100 different directions. And so using meditation, we can actually help you to be a little more calm in this present moment and stay concentrated on one thing at a time. It is not about stopping your thinking. So your mind is a busy place. It is not going to stop, and that's not what we want. But we want to help you learn to control your mind a little bit better. So doing meditation can really help with that as well. So check out online meditation and mindfulness. Check out what's out there. There are lots of free meditations out there that you can do. There are lots of tips on mindfulness, and you are welcome to do some of that on your own and to just find what you can find out there. We also hope to be starting some groups soon to do more of that kind of work. With the pandemic, we've gotten really behind with that, but hopefully we'll start that soon. And at this moment, if you would like to do any of that, please let us know, and then we will either get that group started and help you get with some others to do some of that work, or we can do some of that individual work with you as well, just teaching you some of those mindfulness skills, some of those meditation skills. And then if we can teach you that, then you're able to do that on your own, because it really is a pretty simple thing to do. So those are the basics. The other thing I would say about your mental health is, especially right now, it is getting dark outside earlier, it is getting cold. Right now, sleep, diet, and exercise are going to be your best friends. And you have to be able to get enough sleep. I know as a college student, that is really hard. You also have to be able to eat well. That just means don't eat too many processed foods if you can help it. Try to eat lots of fruits and vegetables. Eat as much good stuff as is possible. And get some exercise. What we find in the research is the more exercise that you can get on a pretty much a daily basis, at least 4 or 5 times a week, the better you're going to feel overall. So get out there, get some exercise, get some sunlight when you can, and then send us an email if you want to come in and talk about anything else. Thanks so much and have a great day.